Morning, y'all. April 17th, 2025. So, real life on the meat bird farm. We have a small family poultry farm raising egg production chickens and Cornish rock cross chickens. The Cornish rock cross are strictly for meat production. We have a flock with 2 subgroups in it in production now. So, headed out to the meat bird barn. Taking you with me. The question is, how many dead birds are we going to find? It's real life. That's what happens. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So last night, I work an evening job 4 nights a week, from like 4 to 10 is when I'm away. And I got home and they said they incinerated 6 carcasses last night. So yesterday's dead pile was 6. I know y'all probably never heard that term from us on one of the videos, but dead pile is a real thing, raising production agriculture meat chickens. It is. So sorry to break that to you. And so, in case you don't already know this, when I'm getting first look, obviously, before I'm going to turn the camera around. If I see, if I see anything really horrendous, I'll stop the camera before I show you. But I'm going to show you what's in there. So, you know, we started with 300, about 300 birds, a little over 300. Hoping to take 300 to the processor on April 23rd, 2025. So last count I had was 283. That was, I think that was before the 6 yesterday. So run the numbers, 277. I've already told my processor, let's get the other set of doors open. Oh, son of a gun. Yeah, I will have to stop the camera because I do have emergency I have to fix. So we'll pause. I'll be back. Y'all, going in the meat bird barn with a little bit of an emergency. I feel like we just did this. Oh, it's not good. Not good. So April 17th, I've got an emergency to take care of. April 16th, we did a video with a different kind of emergency. This emergency, y'all, this is why. You see what I'm seeing? Who knows how long it's been that way? This is why. Oh, whew. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is bad news. And I wish I had, oh dear, I wish I had extra hands, extra people actually, because this really is, okay, so first thing, all right, y'all. So let me show you this while I'm right here. So this is a fire hazard, and this is why people don't like heat lamps, and we understand why people don't like heat lamps, because this is what can happen. So we don't know how long that light's been down on the bedding. It was hot, but that's why you do want to keep the shield in place, but that's only going to help for so long. Okay, so my concerns right now are I'm going to get this bulb turned off. I'm going to get that bulb turned off. And then this bedding is really hot. And if one of these birds perceives that they're cool and they want to warm up, we have another danger here, a secondary danger. A bird could actually come over here and lay down on this, trying to warm itself up, and end up burnt. Because we know that that's got to be super hot. The bulb itself, lit, is probably about 600 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, y'all, we've had serious talks here recently about 2025 being the last year that we raise meat birds, and this is another, we're really close to a barn fire here. So not a bonfire, not a good thing, not a recreational thing. That's the closest we've come to a barn fire. I'm going to cut this video for now, get this situation secured, and then show you the couple other things in the barn. They're not good this morning. Not good. Okay, so in this set of flocks. As with many things in life, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's the point we're at. Good news is, flock behind me that's 6 weeks old does have to wait for the processing date that belongs to this flock. They'll go at the same time, so we gotta see how they do over the next week. But for today, that pen of 6-week-old meat birds, everybody's living, everybody looks good, no hazards happening in there. This group, so you saw that. So turn that lamp off, got that area barricaded off. We don't want a bird sitting in there and getting burnt up from the heat. There's heat smoldering in there. I saw some embers glowing, so that's ceasing now. There's still some smoke coming off of it. Gonna pour some water on it soon here, but we want to keep them out of there. I unplugged all the heat lamps. That may be one of the last times we use heat lamps. We have 400 chicks coming on April 30th. We have to brood them. Probably going to have to use heat lamps then, but this was probably the nail in the coffin on putting the meat bird operation to rest. So I'm going to show you a couple other things that are disturbing. If you don't want to see it, just stop watching now. But to add insult to injury, like this was something I saw. So you see the feet in the air, that's a dead bird. Okay, here is one right here, and it's unfortunate to find them this way. And here's one right there. Okay, that is disturbing to see. All three of those were ones that we had already identified as failure to thrive. We knew it was coming. There was no reason to even separate them or isolate them. It was a one-way train. There was nothing we could do to reverse what was going on with the failure to thrive. They were also in a chronic heart failure situation. As I look around this pen, most of these birds are doing okay. They're 5 weeks old. They'll go to butchering, processing at 6 weeks old, exactly when we want our meat chickens to go. But as I look around this pen, I can pick out about 5 more that are failure to thrive, that as experienced poultry producers, we can pretty much see the writing on the wall that there's probably at least a handful more in this subgroup of the flock that are not going to make it, that will lose, and that even if they were still breathing on processing day, we wouldn't take them. They wouldn't be ready, finished, and not what we want to send in for meat production. So anyway, sorry, this is a glum one, this is a gloomy one, but thanks for joining us. I can see down the line we're not going to stay in meat birds. So okay, so quick warning, going to show a graphic scene that if you don't want to see dead chickens, you need to go ahead and move on to a new video or whatever. Just going to give you a quick image on the screen of when we say dead pile. And I said before, raising meat birds, the dead pile can be a real thing. We don't want that, but so today's dead pile has started with 4. And like I said, I can look around the pen. They might not go today, but there's at least a handful more that I feel with certainty are not going to make it to April 23rd, this April 17th. So it won't be the last of the ones in the dead pile. It won't be the last carcasses that we're dealing with. In one sense, the ones that we don't want to take to processing are calling themselves out. If that wasn't going on and we saw individuals that we should not take to processing for whatever reason, that's the farmer's responsibility to call them out. So either way, same outcome. But feel free to ask me questions. Gonna go ahead and just acknowledge hate comments. They're just gonna be removed. I'm not gonna spend energy on them. You guys can see. You can see our energy has to go into trying to take care of the birds that are in production and trying to keep the barn standing. So that's where my energy is going to go. It's not going to go into even internalizing anything hateful. So I'll just remove it. So, you know, someone out there, if you're a keyboard warrior contemplating a hate comment because we're poultry farmers and because it involves death, you know, I don't regret that my family produces quality food for human consumption, and I don't regret that we are in production agriculture. It is hard. It is hard to deal with the valleys of it, but you know, it's part of the process. It is part of the process. And even now, like turning those lights off, that's why the birds are piling together, and that's not a good thing either. But right at this moment, I can't handle any more stress from heat lamps, so we had to turn them off. So these are just at 5 weeks here. They're gonna be great at 6 weeks when we take them to processor. These are already 6 weeks. They're gonna go to processor at 7 weeks. Hopefully they all that are here make it to 7 weeks. They're gonna be great too. They're just gonna be bigger birds. And we're gonna do the best we can with the hand we're dealt. And then we're gonna clean up the barn and move on to the next flock. But we appreciate y'all's support of the channel. Thank you very, very, very much. And, you know, we just have to keep at it. So whatever's going on in your life, whatever's going on in our lives, life brings challenges, and we just have to keep at it. Life is a gift, and as long as we have breath in us, just keep working toward what you need to do. Work on what's in front of you and work toward what you need to do.